everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori, aka Mountain Mama, and today we are going to do a postpartum must-have video. So these are just a few of my top favorite items. I'm sure I'm going to forget something, and this is what I have found that works for me postpartum. I've only had one child, but I've learned some ins and outs and things that work with my body, so I'm hoping this list helps some of my followers here that are going through a similar pregnancy. But yeah, I'm 33 weeks pregnant and we are ready any day now for little girl to come. Obviously we want her to stay the full term, but we are just so over the moon excited to have her come into this world. So yeah, let's just get started and I will share some of these items. I'm gonna start with a little disclaimer. If you are watching this and you're a little squeamish, I am going to talk about some things that your body does after giving birth, at least what my body did. So yeah, let's start with pain management, because giving birth is painful and after giving birth is also painful. So some of my favorite products to have are going to be the Wish Garden After Ease. Let me put that up there. So this helps with after birth contractions. You will be experiencing those, at least I did, and I've heard with each child it just gets a little bit more intense. So this is a replacement for, you know, Tylenol or your typical pain medications that you would be using. I've also diffused lavender before, and that kind of helps calm things down. Another thing that's going to happen during your birth, that might happen, I should just keep saying might happen, is some tearing if you are delivering vaginally. So I like the Birds and Bees Teas Sitz Bath. And I'm gonna link everything down here, but these are just coming in little satchels, and it has Epsom salt, marshmallow root, witch hazel bark. It has uva leaf, yarrow leaf, chamomile flower, lavender flower, chickweed leaf, and calendula. I'm probably mispronouncing that, I always have, but yeah, it's super awesome. You just steep it just like you would a normal tea and sit in the bath with it, and that should provide some relief. Now I am going to say some of these will help with the first 1 to 2 weeks, and then beyond that is kind of up to you and your body. Another thing that I like to have is this Earth Mama. It's an herbal perennial spray. And this is in place of Dermaplast. So Dermaplast is kind of a cooling thing that you squirt down there, so it relieves some of your pain. I've learned that Dermaplast has butane in it, and I'm not really a fan of involving butane anywhere near those areas of my body, but yeah, so my preference is to just use the Earth Mama herbal spray. It has a list of things that are very similar to the Sitz Bath, and you could always make this if you wanted to, but just for ease I went ahead and ordered this. I will link everything down below. You can get most things on Amazon, I'm assuming. And then this little guy. So what you do after you give birth, it's going to, well, for me it really hurt to use the restroom, and this little bottle here I fill with warm water, and you kind of squirt before you go to the restroom, and it just helps with some discomfort. So yeah, that's kind of my pain management section. Now I'm going to move on to breastfeeding. Again, if you plan to breastfeed, awesome. If you do not plan to breastfeed, that's awesome too. It's really whatever works for you. First things first, I know this is silly, but a water bottle. Always have a water bottle next to you. Have your favorite one next to you, something that you know that you'll fill up and use. I always put lemon in my water, and this keeps it super cold. I will link this down below, but it's kind of like a hydro flask. And then another thing are these breast milk pads. So what you want to do is just put them into your tank top or bra or whatever you plan on wearing, and it just soaks up some of that breast milk that is going to be leaking from your breasts. I experienced it. I'm not saying that you will, but it definitely, for 1 to 2 weeks, things are leaking down there. And I was kind of bummed at first, knowing that that milk was going to waste. So I looked up some solutions, which brings me to my next awesome find. I love this. This is called a Haaka. Okay, I definitely suggest getting a Haaka with a lid, just in case it tips over. This just attaches right here like that. And it's a suction, and it's made from silicone. So whenever you are feeding on one side, it catches your letdown from the other side. So I love this Haaka. And then whatever you get from this side, you can just end up freezing. If you are not a new mama out there, you understand that this tipping over is probably like the worst thing ever. So yeah, this is really awesome to have. Another thing that I like to have, I'm going to kind of move on from the breastfeeding category and move on to some clothing that you might want to have. I have been trying to slowly switch my clothing to organic fabrics, specifically bamboo, just because I love the way it feels on my skin. So Kate Quinn is a company, and they make clothing for children and infants, toddlers, and it goes all the way up to 10 years, I believe. But then they also have a mommy and me section, and this is a nightgown, but I love it because it buttons and it can be a nursing gown. So I'm not one to cover up in public, but if you ever needed to, this is kind of like an elegant little dress that you can do that with. And leggings are always a good thing to have. Now, I know a lot of you have probably researched this, and you have seen you want to get your body back to normal. Obviously, we all want to feel back to normal again, but I don't think it's a huge rush. So I kind of let my body get back to normal on its own. So I don't use any belly binders or anything like that, and it's super uncomfortable for me. I have looked up belly binding, which is just a continuous piece of fabric that you can wrap around you. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go that route, but it kind of brings your stomach back together. It can bring any of those muscles just back together and back to its original state. I don't think it's ever going to go back to your original state, but yeah, so that's why I'm not including that in this video. But another thing that I like to include in my clothing here are these nursing bras. So I really like this one. I believe it's made by Medela. And I got, you can get these secondhand anywhere, but I got these brand new, and they just go on like this, and then they hook off. I'm kind of out of practice here, but yeah, so they hook off, and it's just super simple to feed your baby this way. And then another thing that I used for my last pregnancy was these Thinx underwear. They are made for your period, and it replaces tampons and pads and any silicone things that you would use normally for your period. After you give birth, you don't really want to be inserting anything into that area of your body. Just an FYI, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like that's pretty much common sense right there. Don't be doing any of that. But this is really reducing my waist here, and Thinx is awesome. They are a little on the pricier side, but it's definitely an investment. So I have a few pairs here, and what I will do is pair that up with reusable bamboo pads that snap underneath my actual Thinx underwear. So what I actually wanted to do with this pregnancy is try and experiment making my own. So it's the similar material to your breast pad here, but on the ends here it will have 2 snaps, and it just snaps into your underwear just like a regular pad. And I really like the idea of the low waist that's happening for that. And you can just stick them in one of these mesh bags and wash them in the washing machine. We do plan to cloth diaper with this little one. We did with my son here and there, but I'm really trying to stick with it. So I will be doing a lot of laundry anyway, so why not try and experiment with different other reusable items. But yeah, so that's it for my list of postpartum must-haves. If you have any that I have forgotten, please drop them down in the comments below. And if you want to see any more videos like this, I am happy to do them. Like I said, this is just my experience. I'm not a expert by any means, but this is what's worked for me, and yeah, I'm really happy that I could share it with you today. So if you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye!